I'm meteorologist Lindsay Riley with a weather impact alert update. We have strong to severe thunderstorms over the valley right now, areas of blowing dust. We got reports of close to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts out at the Sky Harbor Airport. So here's the first dust storm advisories from downtown Phoenix into Gilbert, extending all the way up through Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, and the Deer Valley area. So that wall of dust is moving due north. Visibility under 1 mile. And again, we saw 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Then we have a second wall of dust. This one initiating out toward the 303, and that is moving toward Avondale and Buckeye and the White Tanks. And that dust advisory goes until 9:45. So these are all being developed on these thunderstorms, which have popped over the lower deserts. Now, this all originated down near Tucson and Marana just a few hours ago, and it marched up the I-10, and now you can see we have numerous showers and storms now beginning in the East Valley, but there's a good chance that these storms will also spread out into the West Valley. So, ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 10 p.m. You can see right now that it is closer to the 347, so a little bit south of downtown Phoenix. This one storm here where you see this red box, that was severe. That is near the 101 and Broadway Road out in Tempe. That now is a flash flood warning. They got 67/100ths of an inch, so close to 3/4 of an inch of rain that fell in 30 minutes, and it is still raining. So that is a pretty potent cell, very slow moving. These storms are virtually stationary, or they're moving at about 5 miles per hour. So flooding is a big threat. You can see that that cell that was severe and where we had the flash flood warning is kind of breaking apart right now, but we are getting some rain on the ground across South Scottsdale and the 101, and this is moving up toward Old Town. So we will see some raindrops in that vicinity. Parts of Gilbert and Chandler also seeing some rain. You can see further to the south, this is a pretty hefty line that extends from South Phoenix and Ahwatukee down through Maricopa, and we do have one severe thunderstorm, and this is right along I-8, and you can see this is virtually stationary. Some small hail in addition to 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with that storm, also very slow moving. So we could be seeing some ponding out on I-8 as that cell sits virtually stationary. We have a lot of activity out towards Santan Valley, Queen Creek, Apache Junction, Gold Canyon, and then this is going to be moving toward Gilbert and Mesa. So you can see the radar kind of filling in. We have several outflow boundaries traveling across the valley. That's why we saw those 40-mile-per-hour winds out at Sky Harbor. Those outflow boundaries are actually moving into the West Valley. You can kind of see that very faint green line. It is passing through Glendale right now, and will continue pushing to the north and west out towards Surprise as well as Sun City. That's also likely the leading edge of the dust. So gusty winds, dust right now in the West Valley. But those outflow boundaries, they can pop up new storms, and you can actually kind of see that happening right there. That line pushes through, and there you go, a brand new cell. And so we'll be watching that one to see if it develops and becomes even larger over time. But if you're watching us from the West Valley right now, they're very possible that some of these storms in the East Valley move your way. So we could be seeing some active weather through about midnight, 1 a.m. It's possible. And then tomorrow is going to be another active day. Here's a look at South Mountain right there. You can kind of see it underneath the radar images, and you can see all the rain along I-10 on the south side of South Mountain, extending into South Chandler and downtown Chandler area. So that's right now where we're seeing the heaviest rain in the valley. Here's the big picture from Maricopa and I-8 all the way up through South Mountain. We're seeing a lot of heavy rain out toward Tempe, the 101 and 60 interchange, South Scottsdale, Santan Valley, Queen Creek, Apache Junction, and we'll likely start to see some of this translate westward. So out in the West Valley, we could be seeing some rainfall. Nothing severe up in the high country, just some light to moderate rain lifting north of I-40 right now, and things have really calmed down in Kingman. So that's the current radar situation right now. As you can see, things are calming down up in the high country. Just want to take you through a quick future cast. This is right now, and you can see all the storms over the Phoenix area as well as the lower deserts as we go through the next couple of hours. This is a look at 10:30. And you can still see plenty of activity. In fact, you can see that also beginning to fill in out toward the West Valley. So there's a good chance that we'll begin to see storms out there. This is 11:30 tonight. Not as strong by that point. Those storms will begin to weaken. A lot of times these are pulse up. They could be strong for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then they kind of weaken a little bit. So we're starting to see that by about 11:30 tonight, and then that moves out into western Maricopa County, Gila Bend area, and eventually Yuma County and La Paz County by the pre-dawn hours. So that's what we're up against tonight. Tomorrow could be another big weather day, late afternoon into the evening. We'll have more on that on 12 News at 10. But right now, we want to send it out to our reporter, Chase Golightly. He is out in Tempe at the 101 and 60, and I know it was raining really heavily out there. What are you seeing now, Chase?
Lindsay, that rain is still coming down, and we're getting a 360 view of a light show happening right here. We're at Price Road and Southern Avenue, and I want to just go ahead and give you a look. We chose this intersection because of the lighting, and you can just see all the water accumulation on the roadway right now. I noticed that the rain has lightened up slightly. What we are starting to see more is the wind really starting to pick up. But in whatever direction you were going, you could really start to see that water accumulation, especially on the areas that were declined down, where we were seeing cars just cruising through and kicking up a bunch of water. As we kind of pan over more to this intersection, if some of these cars start to come through, you'll be able to really start to see it kick up more. But just looking down in this area, we notice, again, a lot of accumulation, mostly to the right side of the road. Again, large trucks and vehicles just cruising through, kicking up a lot of water. I also kind of want to zoom in. We also notice what appears to be the front of a car bumper just off on the side of the road. That's where we're seeing a lot of that water accumulation getting kicked up into the area. Also, when we were just driving around, we were going pretty slow, but we noticed there was a couple times where our car started to hydroplane a little bit. Again, so if you are going out on the roadways, you definitely want to be careful. You definitely want to take your time. Just before this, we were down by Chandler Fashion Center. That's where we noticed a lot more dust in the area, not so much rain. That was, again, about 20 to 30 minutes ago where we saw more dust in the area. But again, those winds were picking up. That rain still consistently coming down, creating the slick conditions that we're seeing right here. But again, it appears that it has lightened up a little bit, but what you're left with are these very slick road conditions. So if you are having to drive out at this time, you definitely want to take your time and be sure to slow down. This person cruising through, you can see all that water kicking up right behind them. Again, things can turn very dangerous depending on how fast you're going and how you're maneuvering that vehicle. So again, we say it over and over again whenever we cover storms like this, but if you're out on the roads, just be sure to take your time. If you're a few minutes late, that's better just being late than not getting there safely. So we just want everyone to be safe on the roads, but we'll go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, Chase. And yeah, you saw the rain coming down there. The storms are expanding. Even since we began on 12 plus here about 8 minutes ago, we're starting to see those storms expand through central Phoenix and even parts of Scottsdale. Right now, several severe thunderstorm warnings. There's where Chase is right there. That's where that flash flood warning is. Another severe thunderstorm warning near South Mountain. That goes till 10. Maricopa also under a severe thunderstorm warning. These storms are virtually stationary. So besides the 60-mile-per-hour gusts with the severe storm, we also could see some localized flooding because they're very, very slow moving. But here's a look at some of these brand new storms that are beginning to form right along the 51 near, say, Piestewa Peak or so, and that extends a little bit further north. All this activity, strong to severe storms, 40 to 50-mile-per-hour gusts there. This storm along I-8 up to 60-mile-per-hour gusts. That's a severe one. And then, of course, out toward Queen Creek, Santan, Gilbert now, Mesa, seeing a lot of storm activity. And this is actually spreading northward. This is what I want to show you. Right along the 51 up toward Bell Road and Thunderbird and extending up toward the 101 and Tatum. These brand new storms literally in the last 5 minutes. And I'm expecting that to happen out in the West Valley as well. So if you're tuning in from the West Valley, be prepared for these very strong storms, 40, 50-mile-per-hour winds. But because they are virtually stationary, localized flooding. And this could continue for the next couple of hours. So we're going to continue to monitor it. And we are going to join you again on TV coming up on 12 News at 10. We'll have another weather update then. We'll see you then.